All right. The topic I decided to do for this presentation is nuclear medicine. And then to the right here, we have a picture of a basic PET scan done on a person. So PET scans can help save lives. So a PET scan stands for positron emission tomography scan, and it's an application of nuclear medicine that can identify problems in people's body. The scan does have possible side effects because we are dealing with nuclear chemistry and radioactive exposure. A PET scan can increase the likelihood of somebody getting cancer. And then the main question that I wanted to answer in this presentation is, are PET scans worth the risk? So the way that I went about this, I knew there was two things I really needed to research and know. And it was, what are the possible risks and what are the benefits? So the risk, I found out that the main one and the most concerning one is there's an increased likelihood of contracting and dying of cancer, which is probably the worst case scenario. I was able to also find that age plays a significant role in the likelihood of contracting and dying of cancer. So I found this graph right here, and I think it's a great graph to just kind of get an idea of the risk. So I think the main one we need to pay attention to is the black line right here. The other ones are just types of cancer. This is total cancer. And then as you can see, ages 1 to 20, the risk is quite high. Compared to when you get to around age 35, the risk is relatively low. And so, I mean, going off this graph, it would suggest that once you're older in life, or as you get older, the PET scans are safer. Younger, they're more dangerous. I was also thinking of other possible reasons why this graph would be the case. And I thought, well, why would a child ages 0 through 10 need to get a PET scan? And the main thing that I thought was maybe that child isn't in the best of situation as it is, and there's underlying causes, reason to believe they need a PET scan. And that could also be why they have an increased likelihood of contracting cancer. So the benefits, PET scans are potentially life-saving. There are around 2 million people who get PET scans in the United States annually, despite the side effects and the risk. PET scans can detect serious problems in the body. And so if you get a PET scan and you have anything wrong with you, say you do have cancer or something else that's wrong with you, a PET scan will pick it up and let the doctors know exactly what's wrong with you. So for the equations, the first equation is just the basic positron emission. And then the one down here, so when I was first learning about this, the equation did not really relate much to the procedure itself. So right here we have fluorine, and that would be our tracer isotope. And we have its positron emission. So usually electrons have a negative charge, but in this case, it's going to have a positive charge, and it's really just going to be taking one electron out of the fluorine. And the way that I understand this is you would take a tracer isotope like fluorine, and you would insert that into the glucose, and then you put that glucose into the body and let it naturally spread throughout. And then this is where it gets kind of confusing. Once the tracer isotope is in there, the machine would pick up where it's at, and it would send off a ray or a wave or something. And then the isotope would split into 2 gamma rays, be repelled to separate sides of the body, millions of them in there, and it would map out parts of the organs. That's the best way that I understood it. So going over the review, the risks are pretty scary, but at the same time, if you do need a PET scan and you don't get one, the side effects are probably more scary. The conclusion I came to is it really just depends. There are some individuals and individual situations that people should, and then there's going to be some that people shouldn't. In the end, I think you should refer to your doctor and what they think. Because again, like there's risk associated with either or. It's just really what's the best decision for you. What is the least risk for you? And I would just refer to what your doctor has to say about that. So the next steps, I did see a possible error in the risk graph that I could look into. Besides from that, I also thought that brain scans would be particularly interesting. I thought they would probably be the most different, have the most stuff you can look at. And then right here is just my works cited and relevant thank yous. And that is the end.